All right. Welcome, everybody. Rob Brown of Encore Partners here. If you're here for my business optimization presentation, the 6 strategies my clients use to thrive in turbulent markets, you're in the right place. In particular, this webinar is for, just to get clear on the audience, I work with financial planners, financial advisors, wealth managers, and RIAs, and I'm sure there are a couple of other titles mixed in there, but those are the titles that most of my clients call themselves or call their businesses. Most importantly, your expertise, what you do every day, helps people achieve their most important goals. So whether you're doing it from an investment perspective primarily or from a financial planning perspective, you're trying to help people accomplish their most important financial goals. And then from a business perspective, you're growing a fee-based business. You focus on growing your assets under management and increasing your recurring revenues. So just wanted to point that out in terms of who this presentation is designed for. During this presentation, I hope to accomplish 6 things. First of all, whether they are turbulent markets or not, whether the market continues to move higher from here or sells off again, I'm not a prognosticator, and it really doesn't matter. I really want to give you a springboard for future success in your business. I want to help you not improv your client care, but improve your client care process. I want to help you improve client loyalty, increase client loyalty. I want to show you why this is a great time to be gathering referrals and introductions and give you some ways to do that so that you can accumulate new assets. This is a business building webinar. I don't want you to have to suffer through the market if it goes south. I think you ought to be able to thrive in your business no matter what the financial markets do. And I want you to create leverage for the value of your business going forward, because sometimes when the market is most turbulent, it's the best time to add assets, add revenues, which increases the long-term value of your business. So those are the main focuses that we'll talk about during the webinar. I'm only making one assumption. You are really good at what you do, and you hold yourself to the highest ethical standards. When somebody asks me, Rob, who is your ideal client as a coach to financial advisors? My simple answer is, if you're really good at what you do, you're really serious about growing your business, you hold yourself to the highest ethical standards, you're not looking for the latest bright, shiny object, you're not trying to generate commissions from places that they don't belong to come from, then I want to work with you. So I'm going to assume for this presentation that you're really good at what you do and you hold yourself to the highest ethical standards. So let me ask you to set this up a few questions, or actually make a few statements, and I want to ask you, do these things sound like you? Maybe 1 or 2 of them, or maybe all of them collectively. I don't know, but does this sound like you? You're coasting. Your business has grown without much effort the last several years because the markets have done so well. But the market turbulence, kind of the crazy month that we had in October, has you thinking about the trajectory of your AUM and revenue growth. You wonder what's going to happen to your business if you aren't able to just rely on the markets and to be a kind of coast for your growth. So does that sound like you? Maybe you do a decent, maybe even an above average job with client service, but deep down, you're not living up to the standards you have set for yourself, those promises that you've made to your clients. Again, another kind of symptom of when things are good. Sometimes our clients don't want to talk to us as often, so we let things coast, and you could or should be doing better. And the final one is you're comfortable with your success. You're making a good living. but deep down, you still feel a burning desire to grow more quickly because you desire more of yourself and the way that you can impact your clients, your team, your family, and the causes that you care about. Do any of those things sound like you? Because this has been, up until October, with little exception, a long period of time where it's been easy to coast and get comfortable and relax. And October, for some, created a little bit of a wake-up call. Maybe I should be doing something different with my business so that I can make sure that if the market does stay turbulent, if we do continue to see, the stock market indices go down and that has an impact on your revenues, that you can manage that process. So I want you to be thinking about those things relative to the way that you feel about your business as we go through this presentation. If those are things that you are thinking about when you think about your business, you haven't optimized your business. And that's really kind of my big thing right now. I talk to advisors, both clients that I'm coaching and consulting with and advisors who are just seeking potentially to work with me. I talk to them all the time about their practices. And what I found is they're very good at optimizing their clients' portfolios. They're really getting the client's financial plans positioned right. But a lot of folks aren't really good at optimizing their own business. And that's a real challenge. So my process overall, as well as the process that we'll talk about today for turbulent markets, is aimed at optimizing your business. Because once you optimize your business, you will add ideal clients month after month by using a system that sets you and your business apart from your competition. Your prospects believe they have no choice but to work with you. When you optimize, you have complete control over who you choose to work with, how you serve them, and the fee that you deserve for the value that you bring. When you optimize, you will grow revenues. I have some typos on my slides. I apologize. You will grow your revenues faster than you ever thought possible, oftentimes doubling every 18 to 36 months. I talk to advisors all the time who are considering, investing in a new marketing program or hiring me as a coach, whatever it might be, and they're afraid to think about what real growth can look like. They're just satisfied with what the market can give them. But when you're optimizing your practice, growth happens faster. You are able to double your business every 18 to 36 months. That's really important to be thinking about. And we're going to talk more about that in this presentation. Also, when you optimize, you will do all of this while reaffirming that deep down passion, excitement, and joy you have for the work that you do and the people that you serve. I talk to too many advisors who kind of lost the excitement about what they've done because of that coasting, because maybe a couple of things have gone against them. But when your practice is optimized, you really enjoy what you do day in and day out. That passion comes back. And finally, when you optimize your practice, the direction of the financial markets, the turbulence really doesn't matter because you're running your business the way that it should be run for today and for tomorrow. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rob Brown. I'm the founder and head coach at Encore Partners. I've spent my entire career in the financial services industry, spent 25 years as an advisor. I helped run an investment firm with 250 other advisors. Since 2002, I've been running Encore Partners, where I coach and consult specifically with financial planners, financial advisors, and RIAs. And a number of you have read my book, Delivering the Ultimate Client Experience. As I said, as we get into this idea of the 6 strategies for growing your business in turbulent times, it all comes back to business optimization. And I believe there are 5 fundamental truths when it comes to business optimization. First of all, you need to understand your purpose. You have to be very intentional about what you do. You have to position yourself to serve your most ideal clients. Taking on clients that you don't enjoy means that you're not optimizing your business. When you're optimizing your business, you're getting more done in less time with less stress. As I mentioned a minute ago, your profits grow faster than you ever thought possible, and you're delivering the highest level of client care and advice. Your clients are really getting what you promised. You're living up to yourself and to your clients to that promise that you're making. Let me just kind of pause for a second in terms of thinking about the overall optimization process and get you all to take a look at the graph, the pyramid on the screen in front of you. I want you to be thinking about where your business is today, because I think if you think about where your business is today, you'll get more out of this presentation. These are the stages. These are the 4 stages that I see advisors and advisory practices going through over their life cycle. On the right-hand side, there are kind of keys to success at each stage. And on the left-hand side, there are symptoms, some things that indicate what it feels like to be in that stage. So, for example, you may be an aspiring advisor, which means your AUM is probably under $50 million. What you're really striving to do right now to really kind of move to that next level of success, you're needing to get clear on your vision and on your client focus, who those people are that you want to serve and how you're going to serve them. But because you're aspiring, because you're at that base level, you're scrambling. You're trying to be all things to all people. But typically, if you break through that $50 million level, you become what I call an achieving advisor. Your process, the way that you deliver your unique client proposition is memorable, repeatable, and referable, which means in the end, your clients are more loyal, prospects are more willing to do business with you. That's why you're referable. But at the same time, you're probably feeling overwhelmed because as you've moved to that next stage, that achieving stage, time is at a premium. You know that you can't keep doing all of the things at this level that you did when you were at the first stage of the business. When you break through that $200 million level, probably up to $500 million, you're what I call thriving. You've systematized your practice more and more so that you can grow more steadily over and over again. But you're probably feeling impatient. You're even more excited to grow. And then at that highest level, you're dominating. You've gone over $500 million. Your teamwork is in place. You're a true authority in your marketplace. And you're working on the longevity of your business to include maybe even your ultimate succession plan. And you feel assured. You have some freedom and accomplishment. Those are the 4 key levels where I see most advisory practices. I'd like you to be thinking about your business and how you relate to both some of those keys to success and some of those symptoms of what that level might mean to you as we go through the remainder of the presentation. The way that I help advisors move from level to level is what I call the optimization process. It's a roadmap. We'll talk about this in detail as I relate it to the 6 strategies that I'm going to share with you in just a minute. But it's critical to understand what my process is so that you can see how these ideas apply to you as you move to higher and higher levels in your business. It's a 3-stage strategy. It starts with the foundational level, moves to the elevation level, and ultimately you end up at mastery. What you're ultimately trying to do is move from point A, where you are today, to point B, where you would like your practice to be. And to do that, you move from foundation to elevation to mastery. And then each of those stages has a different step. I'm not going to go through each of the steps now because I'll cover some of them as I go through the presentation and talk about the 6 strategies. But right now, let's jump into the strategies. These are specific things that you can be doing today in turbulent markets. Frankly, you can do them in any market that will help your business grow, that will give you greater passion for what you're doing, feel greater purpose for what you're doing, and increase your profits along the way. Strategy number 1, assess and recalibrate your client communication routines. In turbulent markets, especially markets that follow the kind of environment that we've been in, where things have been really moving along, where you've been able to coast and still get growth, sometimes your client communication routines fall into disrepair. In the optimization process, we really work on that in the foundational level when we're talking about your ultimate client equation. You know, who those clients are that you ultimately should be working with, your most ideal clients. And then in turn, how you should be serving them. But too often when I ask advisors, when I'm meeting them for the first time, describe to me what it is that makes you different in your practice, what deliverables you bring to your clients. Oftentimes I get very watered down answers. Many times advisors are kind of stumbling over their own language. You know, I say, well, how often do you talk to your clients? And then they'll say, well, we do 4 reviews a year. And then I say, really? You know, are you really doing 4 reviews a year? Do your clients really want 4 reviews a year? When you call them for those reviews, when you call them for those meetings, do they quickly schedule? One of the problems with advisory relationships is that sometimes both the advisor and the client take each other for granted. You think you know that you believe that your clients will call you if they need you, and you'll try to schedule the regular reviews or have the regular phone calls or have the regular events, whatever it might be. But if clients don't show up, you say, no big deal. If they really need to talk to me, they'll call me. And at the same time, clients take you for granted. They're like, well, you know I told my advisor that I would be willing to meet with them to do a review at least a couple of times a year, but you know, I'm just going to skip it because things are going along. I've been looking at my statements. So you take each other for granted. And a lot of times it's because that client communication routine has been watered down. You're taking each other for granted. So one of the key exercises that I go through with my clients in this step of the foundational stage of the optimization process is what I call story shifting. I get advisors to start thinking about their deliverables. What are the real deliverables? What are the real things that they are doing, that you are doing for your clients? And move away from thinking about it in terms of, you know, the performance and portfolio related stuff that, you know, it seems like every advisor can do if you're a client who's not really concerned by the exact process by which your money or their money is being managed. So I like to get my clients to be thinking about their deliverables and how you describe your business in a way that a client can understand what it is they're getting. I want them to understand that you are invested in your clients and in your business. I want them to understand that you're open for business, and we'll talk about this in one of the other stages, that you're open for referrals. And to do that, you have to make them feel special. But the key in the deliverables are items 3, 4, and 5 on the screen. How often you will communicate, what you will deliver through that communication process, and then what your commitment is to responsiveness. So instead of when somebody asks you, you know, tell me what it is you do, say, well, I'm a financial advisor and I do financial plans and investments for all of my clients. You can say, you know, I work with a highly select group of clients. I personally choose all of my clients, or I get them through referrals from my other clients so that I can deliver the highest level of service possible. And I do that through a commitment to communication. My clients and I talk at least 6 times a year. 2 of those conversations are reviews, and we do one of those reviews in person. During those reviews, what we're reviewing is the comprehensive financial plan that I have in place for each and every one of my clients, not just the investments. So our conversations are around my clients' goals. And finally, if my clients have questions in between our meetings, they know that if they call my office or send me an email, that we will get back to them by the end of the business day. So in case you didn't get it, that last 60 seconds was a little bit of a role play of what deliverables should sound like when you shift your story from that typical advisor speak to one where you are focusing on your deliverables. It's extremely important. And this is a big exercise. It's at the very beginning of the coaching process that I go through with my clients. I also want to give you what I call a pro tip. Because these days, one of the things that I hear advisors saying, especially when the markets are so volatile, so turbulent, they're saying, I can't call my clients every time the market makes a big move, or I can't send an email every time the market makes a big move, because as soon as I call them to talk about the fact that the market's, down 6%, it flips around and it's up 3%. And I feel like an idiot for calling them or alerting them or sending them an email. The key, I think, to solving that problem in turbulent markets is to set up a self-scheduling system and then communicate with your clients regularly, maybe through email, that they can schedule with you if they have any questions. This is how my clients and my prospective clients schedule calls with me. They have access to my calendar. They can self-schedule. These self-scheduling tools can be anywhere from free to maybe $20, $30 a month, but they allow you to pick times on your schedule that your clients can go in and schedule a time to talk with you or meet with you, however you want to do that. But this is a really important tip, I think, for all times, but for turbulent times in particular. Allow clients to self-schedule. Even if they don't schedule, they have the confidence of knowing that if they ever need to talk to you, it's just a click of the mouse away. Strategy number 2, focus on your daily routines. When the markets are turbulent, sometimes we get away from our routines. I was talking with an advisor yesterday who was really worried about his practice. And because of some strategies that he had in place in his practice, he felt like he had to be glued to his screen all day long. He's watching the markets, he said, more than he has in years. He had fallen out of his daily routines. In turbulent times, it's really important that you continue to focus on your daily routines. In the Encore business optimization process, this is what I call success habits. What are those things that you know that you need to do every day, every week, every year? Those things that you do repeatedly, that if you know that you do them, your business will be successful. You know that if you do them, your business will grow. You know that if you do them, your clients will feel more loyal to you. You know if you do them, you won't leave at the end of the day feeling like you left everything undone. So what I would encourage you to do as the second strategy is to focus on your ideal day. A lot of us start out by thinking, hey, I have this way that I want to set up my day or set up my week or set up my month so that I can meet with clients, I can meet with prospects, I can make calls, I can meet with my team, I can have breaks. What does your ideal day look like? The example that I have up on the screen is just one where an advisor says, hey, I just want to have each one of my weeks look similar. So Monday's a planning and prep day, Tuesday's a client day, Wednesday's a prospecting day, Thursday's kind of a mix of clients and prospects and doing a little bit of catching up, and Friday is completely unscheduled. But in that kind of routine, if you have this, or in this kind of routine, you can manage all of those things that you have to manage and still have plenty of time for yourself, not be stretching your calendar out way into the night. So I would encourage you right now to think about your daily routine, your ideal day. Get that back in place if it's fallen out of place because of what's been going on the last month, or because of the fact that you just haven't gotten around to it. My pro tip for this section is what I call delete, delegate, do. And you can see I've got a red box around daily planning. I think daily planning is the lead activity to all of your success habits. So you can see it's right here. It's right here at the top of the day. It could be at the end of the day before you leave. But every day, as you're building your success habits, you need to be thinking about some daily planning. Daily planning, when you're doing it regularly, you're really sticking to it, is probably a 15-minute process, maybe a 30-minute process. And during that process, what you want to do is you want to look at your to-do list, wherever you're keeping, whether you keep it on a scratch pad, on a computer, or wherever you keep that, and ask yourself, is that something I can delete? Maybe I put it on my list and I don't really need to do it. So just get rid of it. Don't put it off for another day. Can I delegate it? Is there somebody else on my team or one of my strategic partners who can do that for me? Can I delegate it? And then finally, what are those things that you absolutely need to do and to schedule into your day or schedule into a day into the future? But if during your planning time, as you're putting together your ideal day, you think about delete, delegate, do, you'll be much more effective with your success habits, feeling like you're getting more done in less time with a lot less stress. So now let's jump to strategy number 3, which I call relying on your unique client proposition. Sometimes I'll get pushback from advisors and say, there really is nothing unique about what I do, because I'm a financial planner. And, financial planning is financial planning. The portfolios that we use, the tools that we use, whether it's for the financial planning software or the investment managers that you use or the research tools you use are all the same. So there's really nothing unique about my business. That's totally bogus. The fact is, I have never seen two advisory practices, two financial planning practices that are exactly the same, because each person, each advisor is unique, and the clients that you choose to serve are your ideal clients. That combination alone means that you really have to be thinking about your unique client proposition. How do you serve the clients that are most important to you? One of the ways to do that is through what I call the creation of a signature solution. How do you describe your process for helping your clients get from their point A to their point B? Every business, whether it's my business as a coach and consultant to advisors and RIAs, or your business as a financial planner or investment manager to individual investors or to retirement plans, whatever it might be, is an A to B process that has 3 stages and 9 steps or some variation thereof. This picture, my business optimization process, is my signature solution. This is how I uniquely describe the way that I help my clients get from their point A to their point B. You've got to develop something like this for your practice. It's especially important when things are kind of jumping around, and maybe there are other advisors banging on your client's door saying, maybe I should take a look at your portfolio or your financial plan and give you a second opinion. People are allowing that to happen even when they've been working with their advisors for a long time. So honing in on what your unique client proposition is and communicating that and recommunicating that to your clients and to your future clients becomes really important. let me show you what I mean. So these two pictures are what I see as being typical diagrams that advisors and planners are using to describe their process. The one on the right is kind of gather information, analyze, present, implement, review, identify, gather, analyze, plan, implement, review, identify. It's the same words being used by every advisor that's putting the plan in the middle of the process. The truth is, it's not about the plan. It's about helping your clients get from their point A to their point B in language that they understand. Same thing on the right. This is one that describes, cash flow, risk management, asset management, tax planning, education planning, retirement planning, estate planning. Again, the plan is in the middle. I don't see the client anywhere on the diagram. It's not about the plan. It's about the process. When you're using tools like this to describe your business, you have a me too business. You are not elevating your unique client proposition. But creating that unique client proposition by creating a signature solution isn't that hard. On the left-hand side of the screen here is a tool that I use in my coaching process where I help advisors identify and name their unique client proposition. What are the stages in their process? What are the steps? How do they describe? What is their language for helping their clients get from point A to point B? So this is really a rough diagram of a template that I use to start developing that process. This is something that you can do yourself today. It's not hard to do, but this kind of process looks a whole lot better than the same old that everybody is using when they're talking about their businesses. And I admit, this diagram on the left is really ugly, and I probably wouldn't use it with a client, although it's better than showing them something that looks like what your competition is showing them. But what we do in my coaching and consulting process is once we fill in these blanks, once we know what that process looks like for you, once we have identified and named your unique client proposition, we turn it into a roadmap or a pathway for describing the business. So on the right is actually an example of a signature solution that one of my clients recently completed by working through this exercise. It's neat, it's clean, it's using his language for the way that he describes his process to his clients. So I really encourage you in thinking about strategy 3, rely on your unique client proposition. Stop talking about your business the way that your competition talks about their business. Create your unique client proposition and use that as you're doing client reviews. Use that as you're meeting with referrals and prospects. It makes a huge difference. I can't tell you how many times I've helped a client develop their unique client proposition, their signature solution, and they've sat down with their top clients to get feedback on it, and their clients are blown away. They're saying, I didn't know that you did all of those things. Remember a minute ago, I was talking, or more than a minute ago, probably 10 minutes ago, I was talking about the fact that clients and advisors can sometimes take each other for granted. When you have a signature solution, when you can describe your process, your clients know at all times those things that you help them with, and also things that you could help other people with, which makes your business memorable, repeatable, and referable. So that's strategy number 3. Strategy number 4 is promote advocacy. This is at the very center of my process. And advocacy to me is creating an opportunity for your clients, your centers of influence, and other people that you know to introduce you to future clients. It's referral giving at its highest level. And I can't tell you how tired I am of hearing advisors say, referrals don't work. Referrals don't work in 2018. And they'll cite some studies that say referrals don't work. But when you look into those studies, it's because they're looking at old-fashioned, kind of lame referral giving. That question, who do you know that might be a good fit for my business? That's never worked. And there's no reason that's going to work today. But advocacy works. The greatest source of new business is introductions from people that you know. Again, your clients, your friends and family, your centers of influence. Advocacy is vital. And advocacy is really important in turbulent markets because people are looking for alternative ideas. For the first time in a while, they're thinking, maybe things aren't just going to coast along for the next 20 years. Maybe I do need to make sure that I'm working with an advisor who has a unique client proposition that can really help me get from my point A to point B. That's where advocacy comes into play. I believe advocacy is the most effective method for growing high-quality referrals. It helps you further define your target markets. You develop new clients who fit your ultimate client profile. You grow your business without spending a lot of extra time and money because the advocacy conversations are built into things that you're already doing, and you end up with stronger relationships with your existing clients. And it all starts by hanging your open for business sign. When we're taking our clients for granted and they're taking us for granted, one of the things that's being taken for granted is the fact that you are actually looking for new clients. And just because you know that you're looking for new clients, that you would accept new clients, doesn't mean that your clients and your centers of influence know that you're looking for new clients. And even if they do know that you're looking for new clients, they may not know the type of client that you're looking for. That's where promoting advocacy becomes so important. So I think it's really important to be thinking about the language that you're using and the preparation that you're making as you go into advocacy opportunities. When I'm working with clients, helping them build their advocacy, build their referrals, build their introductions, I want to really look at it as how it can play into the things that you're already doing. Because again, I said a minute ago, it doesn't have to take a lot of extra time or a lot of extra money. It's one of the most efficient ways to add to your practice. Sure, advocacy could be a dedicated meeting that you have with a client or with a connection or with a center of influence, but an advocacy conversation could also be part of a client review. An advocacy conversation can be part of a quick phone call that you make when you're reaching out to your clients just to touch base with them. An advocacy opportunity could come from the way that you use social media, use LinkedIn or Facebook. And right now, the reason I have the red arrow next to number 5, family and friends, is your clients, many of your clients, because their family and friends know that they are working with a top quality advisor that maybe they've said good things about over the years, are coming to them and saying, hey, give me your advice. They're asking your clients for their advice. So you need to make sure right now that your clients know that if their family and friends come to them for advice and they're not comfortable giving them advice about their financial plan, about the direction of the market, that they have someone that they trust, and that's you, that they can introduce you to. So as part of this process of thinking about building your business and thriving in turbulent markets, don't forget advocacy. Don't forget the opportunities that you have to have other people introduce their friends, their family, their connections to you. This is a great environment in which to be doing this. When I'm helping my clients through the elevation stage of the optimization process, I make sure that advocacy is working. It has to be working if you're really serious about growth. So let's jump to strategy number 5. This is a very simple one, and I don't have a lot of slides for this, but it's show confidence in your team. So with a tough month like October, with the markets bouncing around, maybe the phones are ringing a little bit more than usual. There's a lot of doom and gloom news out there. Maybe you're talking with your colleagues about some concerns that you have about your business. There may be people on your team, your assistant, your marketing person, just people who have roles that are very important to your team that may be worried about themselves. They may be worried that if this market continues to go down and your business suffers a little bit, that their job could be in jeopardy or they won't get their bonus. They could be thinking about their own personal financial plans. Maybe they're taking a lot of those calls from clients where there's some negativity and some worry. They need to know that you have confidence in them. You need to spend time with them and let them know what's going on. Don't take them for granted. Don't assume that just because you have confidence in the direction of your business, you have confidence that no matter what happens in the markets, everything will be okay. Maybe the members of your team don't know that. So part of the mastery stage of the Encore process is what I call building a dream team. And when you're building a dream team, you have to be willing to stop and take time with those folks who are on your team to make sure that you're on the same page. That if they're worried about things, you help take some of that worry away. If they're interacting with your clients and maybe their personal worry spills out onto your clients, that they don't speak in a way that shows any negativity. That's a big part of building that dream team. It's a big part of thriving in turbulent markets. So let's go to step number 6, strategy number 6. I call this change your big question. And what I mean by that is, as part of the elevation stage of the Encore process, I help my clients develop a solution selling model, a way that they can sell without selling, because as you're working with your prospects or working with your clients on new ideas, you don't have to sell them, because everything that you talk to them about as you introduce them to new products or services is around solving a problem. It's solution selling. It comes from your signature solution. But it's a conversation. And in that conversation, you ask what I call the big question that really helps you develop your conversation around everything that you talk with your clients about. So a big question might normally be, what's the biggest challenge that you're thinking about when you think about planning for retirement? Or what's your biggest worry when it comes to your investment portfolio? And when you ask that question, you start to get some open-ended, honest questions. And then you can follow that question up with, well, really, why did you say that? And when you ask a big question and you get an honest, open-ended answer from a client, and you dig a few levels deep, what you've done is you've identified their key problems, their key challenges, those things that they want to solve for as they go from their point A to their point B in your unique client proposition. So selling becomes easy because you've gotten them focused on the thing that is most important to them to do. This is the exact same process I use when I'm talking with an advisor about potentially working with me and whether we're a good fit for each other. We understand what that big question is. So today, when the markets are turbulent, maybe you switch up that big question that you normally ask and say something like, when you think about the turbulence of the past 30 days, the turbulence of the markets in October, what's the single biggest concern you have about your investments? Or what's the single biggest concern you have about your financial plan? And if they've been thinking about the market, they've had a little bit of worry creep in because of what happened in October, then you can dig deeper. Say, well, why is that a problem? Tell me more about that. And you ask that first question and you do a tell me more 3 or 4 times, you are on the road to being able to sell without selling, because you're solving their problems. You can just repeat what they told you, recap their challenges, make sure that you have it right. And then it automatic, or not automatically, but then it naturally leads into your process. So strategy number 6, a very important step, is to change your big question. And if you don't have a big question, formulate one. What's that one big question that if you ask it of your clients or of your prospects, if they answer it, that will allow you to provide them with a solution that's based on your signature solution. So that's it. Those are the 6 stages of the optimization process. They relate specifically to my roadmap. And I hope that you feel like through this presentation for the last 45 minutes that you have a springboard of ideas for future success, that you can see some ways to improve your client management process, client loyalty. I've talked specifically about tools for gathering referrals and accumulating new assets, which ultimately creates leverage for your business into the future, that allows you to move up through the hierarchy of developing a practice. So that was my promise to you. Hopefully you feel like I've completed that promise. Before I open this up for questions, what I want to do is I want to just let you know how I can help. So right now you have a choice. You can kind of keep doing things the way that you've always been doing, take the ideas that we've talked about today, put them up on the shelf and not do anything differently. Or you can decide, hey, I really like to implement these ideas in my business. You can take the ideas that I've shared with you, and they're easily adaptable. I gave you some very specific, small tips that you could put into place this afternoon that will make your business stronger. But if you want to dig in deeper, I've set aside some time over the next few days to talk with you personally about how you can optimize your business, whatever your biggest challenges are. I wrote here, I've seen them all, and I know how to overcome them. And I say that not boastfully, but I've been at this a long time. I've been in this industry for 30 years, and there's rarely, if ever, a situation I run into that I haven't run into before. If you want to talk to me, if you schedule a call, I'll work with you to create on that call a step-by-step game plan to optimize your business. So it's not a sales pitch. We'll talk about your business and optimizing it. And I don't charge a nickel. It's absolutely free for that strategy session. This is, again, for advisors who are high integrity, who are really good at what you do. You're open to new ideas. You're the people that I really want to talk to after this call, because you're the folks that I can help the most. If you're wondering why I do this, truthfully, I love giving back. I like helping advisors achieve their goals. Plus, as we're developing that strategy on that call for free for you, we might decide that it's worth talking about working together going forward. And that's great if we do. But if not, that's okay too. I just love spending time with advisors, talking with you about your businesses. So what I hope you'll do is I hope you'll go to my website, go to encorepartners.com/apply, and pick a time for the two of us to talk about your business and put a strategy into place, or strategies into place, for optimizing your business. It'll be an hour well spent. I've never had anybody walk away from that conversation disappointed, because I'm really good at understanding your business and picking out those key areas of your practice that need the most attention if you're going to optimize your practice, if you're going to thrive in turbulent markets. I say spaces are limited because I only do 2 or 3 calls like this. 3 or 4 calls like this a day. I'm thinking right now that I have some calls available tomorrow because I've been out of town and I haven't been allowing people to schedule. So I would encourage you, go to encorepartners.com/apply, pick a time that fits your schedule from my calendar. Then I'll ask you a few questions about your business on a form that will allow me to know more about you before we get on the phone. That way, when we're on the phone, we're talking about your business, I have a head start and we can jump right in developing your optimization strategy. So let me stop there. It's